Hey guys, Curtis here with you today. Today I'm going over the iHealth wireless smart glucose monitoring system, the iHealth Gluco Plus. It says it has a bright LED display, 5-second testing time, diabetic app management, and this comes with 10 lancets. And based on the picture here, it said you can definitely hook this up to your phone. All right, on the back of it here, got some education on there, a little bit of information. Over here, it's got some stuff. Let me see what this says. All right, number 1, take daily measurements. Number 2, get connected, download the iHealth Gluco Smart app and check your trends. Save all your data and share it with your family or doctor. All right. All right, this side over here, nothing on this one. All right, so basically what I'm doing today is I'm always curious about just how user-friendly products are. As you can see, I'm just now breaking the seal on this. So this is brand new. I've never had it out, never looked at it, nothing. So as far as my experience with these type of monitors, I have owned, I want to say 3. So this would be my 4th one. I've had 3 of these then. So I am not super duper experienced with them. I have not been using these for my entire life. The 3 that I've owned has all been within maybe the past 5 years. So I'm not a newbie to this. Again, I got roughly 5 years of experience using this. So I'm just kind of curious, without reading the instructions, without going through any of the stuff that you should be going through. I'm kind of curious to see how user friendly it is for someone who has a small amount of experience. All right, and so far the hardest thing is to figure out how to open this box. So opening this up, and with all that work, it's empty. All right, so I'm assuming this is just for packaging. So maybe, make this a little, make the box a little bit smaller and don't put that in there. I'm not really sure why that would be there, but if you want a cute little box for something, I'm assuming that was free of charge. But all right, let's move that out of the way now that we got the hard part of opening that empty box done. All right, let's see what we have in this one. All right, so pulling this out. All right, so here is the main part. I'm looking in here. Let's see what we got. Opening this up, we have, oh, that's nice. Nice little kind of packaging here, or case. Kind of almost feels, I want to say denim, but I don't think that's a denim feel, but pretty close to denim. All right, let's see what else we got in here. Open this up again, nothing in there. Over here is going to be your instructions, a whole bunch of instructions in there. All right. So again, for right now, I'm not going to read this. I just want to see if I can figure it out on my own, just see how user-friendly this thing is. And obviously, you should be reading this. So if I can't figure this out, don't hold it against them. It's just me being curious. All right, so it has their logo on the front. Open it up here. Let's see, got some stuff in here. All right. So we have a cord here. I'm assuming this is going to be what you're connecting to your phone or your smart device, that we can kind of sync it with it. Then we have your, I forgot what these things are called now. The thing's going to poke yourself with the hair, jab yourself. All right, we have this little piece here and another one. So right off the get-go, again, this is, I want to say I've had 3 of these, not the same exact one, but 3 different brands. Right off the get-go, this is kind of throwing me off. It looks like the exact same thing, just bigger. So I'm not really sure why there would be a second one. Again, obviously read the instructions. The instructions should tell you. But I'm honestly not sure why there would be another one in here. Because, yeah, I'm not really sure. Generally how this stuff works is you see it has the little numbers on here. That's going to tell you how high the needle is going to shoot out and jab your finger. Me personally, I always put it on the highest one, or depending on the brand, I'm assuming maybe 1 to be high and 10 to be low. But I want the one that the needle shoots out real far, because the last thing I want to do is jab myself and feel the pain of it, and then have to turn around and do it multiple times to try to get the blood come out. So I'd just rather do it all in one go. So I always set these up on the highest one. But again, I have no idea why there'd be a second one. But again, don't hold that towards them. Read the instructions. I'm sure they got good information. All right, so now I'm trying to get this thing off. Give that a little turn, pops out. Here we go. So this is going to be where you put your needle. Lines up with that hole, lined up in there. Get that in there, turn it. And then you adjust your number for how much needle you want to go in you. A lot of times this should pull down. Yep. And I can hear a little click. That means it's kind of locked and loaded. Hit your finger and you should be able to see this thing go and hear it if nothing else. Yep. So that's the needle jabbing part. That's what's going to get you. All right. So over here is your actual little needles, or I believe they call, not needles, lancet needle. I'm not really sure what the difference would be. All right, so this gonna have like a weird shape to it that should line up with that weird shape. Line it right in there. And again, once you push it down, it's kind of locked and loaded. Again, if there was already a cap, you would pull this to do it. But push it down, and they come with this little plastic piece. That's what's going to allow you to be able to put this in and move it around, hopefully without poking your finger. But now that it's in there, you do got to take this off. Generally, you can just give them a little twist and pops out. There we go. And that needle, I'm not sure the camera's going to be able to pick that up. Yeah, I think it is. A little bit needle in there. Now you put this, again, I have no idea why you would need that, but you're going to line this one up to it and try not to break the needle in the process. Again, there is a small little groove, so make sure to try to line that up best you can. Get it in there. And normally I wouldn't be holding it up at such a weird angle. I'm trying to hold this up for you guys to kind of see it. Well, a little harder to get on there than I thought. Let's see. Just kind of lightly spin around. Maybe I didn't have it in the right spot. There it is. All right, so now it's in there. And then again, turn this one all the way up. Again, pull this to lock the trigger, and you may or may not be able to see it needle pop out. I don't think you can see it, but I did feel it go, so that should be doing its thing. So that's ready. Now as far as this goes, got a nice little protective screen on here. I'm gonna pull this off. All right, so this is what's happening. On the back we have a little button. Again, if you read the instructions, you know what that means. But again, I'm trying to wing it today. So I move this. Okay, so that's going to be what you get your little things to read it with. Okay. Oh, here it is. All right. So we have this over here. So that is the test strips. All right, so let's get this open. So this came in this little container here. So here's what this looks like. Now this is going to be your little strips you put in there to kind of gather the blood. And that popped right off. Getting one out here. All right, let's see. So one side of this should look almost like a computer chip, and the other side should have a small little, I don't know, not a hole, but a small little spot to gather your blood when you jab yourself. All right, so I'm going to guess and say, all right, so that side looks like the computer chip, and there's the arrow. So the arrow is telling you what side to insert into here. Go around to the other side, you see there's this little spot. That's what's going to gather your blood. There's the front of it. All right, so I'm going to guess that when you insert this, it will automatically turn it on. And you see there's the spot going in. All right, so I put it in there and nothing happened. Maybe I put it in there the wrong way. I'll try it the other way. All right, nothing happened. There is a little button on the side. Hit that button, nothing happened. Hit this button. Okay. So far, not so good. Let's see, this has a picture of, okay. So here is a spot to charge. And I thought this was the hook to your phone. I guess this is how you charge it. All right, so this up. Here we go. And there's a little rubber band on this. Give that a little snip. And plugging this in. Now, one issue I do have with this is that, you know, I'm all excited to get this thing out for you guys and jab myself in the finger and give it a whirl here. And there's no charge on this. Again, maybe I'm missing something, but I'm hitting a button over here. This has an M on it. Not really sure what that would do, but I'm holding it. Nothing's happening. Again, that's just to release this part here. If maybe I'm touching it wrong, or you got to touch a spot. So I know on the picture over there, right here is a kind of a digital, well, I guess they're looking at this. Right here is a digital kind of numbers and stuff on there. So that's kind of what's supposed to tell you what's going on. And yeah, usually when you plug these things in, it just kind of automatically turns itself on. So maybe that little piece was faulty. Let me try another one. Yeah, I kind of figured being a brand new product right out of the box, you know, you're excited to give it a whirl. And, you know, rather than having to wait, you know, 20 minutes or an hour, however long it takes to charge it, kind of figured there'd be a little bit of a charge already on it. So plugging another one in, nothing happened. All right. So get a little bit anticlimactic here. I plan on, you know, jabbing my finger and kind of collected it, and so you guys can kind of see it in action here. But for whatever reason, this is not working. So I don't know if it's not charged. I don't know if maybe this is a faulty one. But I'm definitely going to, you know, upload another video for you guys, you know, after I charge this up and kind of see how it happens. But as of right now, looks like that's all I'm really going to be able to do for you. But if this works, which hopefully it will, I'm assuming just the battery's just, you know, just not charged. But again, you can see kind of the size and shape of this. I mean, it's a convenient little size, very small, doesn't take up much space. And again, it does come with this nice little holder. So again, this kind of slid in there. Has, you know, plenty of room for your cord to fit in there. Again, the unit itself, I'm going to assume it kind of goes in this little pocket, so you can kind of hold it. This right here, let me see where this would go. Again, we have this unknown piece, not really sure what that would be in there for. But this thing is big enough, it looks like, to hold that. So you're going to, well, maybe not. Let me see here. Let me get that out of the way. There we go. So you can definitely cram it all in here. And you do have enough room to get a few spare of these in there as well. All right, so there we go. So all it did fit in there. And you also have an outside pocket. Not really sure what you'd use that for. I don't know if there's something specific that goes in there. But as far as the appearance of this goes, I mean, I do like the appearance. I really do like that. That just, you know, this looks nice. Again, you got the cord here, which I guess you're going to use to charge. And in order to charge, you will need I believe it's called a USB port. So you will need like one of those little blocks that you kind of plug into the wall. This doesn't have your standard outlet. Again, the whatever this thing's called, little poker. Again, does seem pretty nice. Seems like high quality. Again, got this unknown piece here. Yeah, right now I'm happy with the way everything looks and the size and shape of it. I'm just not incredibly happy with the fact that it's not charged. Because again, I was all excited to show you guys. If you got this, I'm assuming you'd be excited to use it for the first time when you got it out. But other than not being charged, again, I'm pretty happy with everything else. But again, not being able to demo it for you guys is a little bit of an issue. But here you go. And again, I'm going to upload another video after I get this thing charged up for you guys so you can kind of see it.